Hello, students. Welcome to Module 3 in the Ethics Around the Globe course. This week, we will be talking about two things. One is Aristotle's virtue ethics, and two is Buddhist ethics. Both of them have several things in common, as you will see, which basically is a focus on virtue and character. We've talked about the great three ancient Greek philosophers, just to give you a review. First was Socrates, who lived approximately 500 BC. Socrates taught Plato, who lived from 459 to 347 BC. They all lived in Athens. And Plato then taught Aristotle. Aristotle opened a school. Aristotle's ethics is known as virtue ethics. Virtue ethics rejects the ethics of dilemma approach. It rejects Kant's deontological ethics, and it also rejects Jeremy Bentham's consequentialism. Instead, virtue ethics is very focused on how to live a good life. For Aristotle, happiness was a very important feature in ethics, but it's different from the way that a utilitarian views ethics. For Aristotle, happiness is human flourishing. That's what we're talking about in your Module 3 discussion forum. You're being asked to reflect on a life of 99 years and to talk about how virtue helped that life to flourish and discuss and reflect on the moments in which you were the happiest. So for Aristotle, for one to live a life of human flourishing, they must be virtuous. We will be talking about friendship and virtue in our live session this week because Aristotle noticed that many virtues and vices are often an issue in our friendships. We'll be talking about the three forms of friendship, which I'm sure all of you have experienced because you all have many friends. Usefulness, which is a very shallow level of friendship. We will be talking about the second type of friendship, which is for pleasure or enjoyment. And then we will also be talking about what Aristotle deemed to be true friendships, which were based on mutual well-being, where each friend not only enjoys the other person's company, but respects that person's character. And in a true friendship, according to Aristotle, the well-being of your friend takes priority over your own well-being. At some point, your friend, their concerns and considerations may become more important than your own. So that's just a very rare form of friendship. Aristotle believes that true friendship can only occur between two very virtuous people. For Aristotle, virtue ethics is moral conduct that emanates from a person's character, not from obedience to rigid moral laws like Kantian ethics, which requires an obedience to the categorical imperative. Instead, virtue ethics asks, what type of person should I be? For Aristotle says virtue is a stable disposition to act and feel according to some ideal or model of excellence. Virtue ethics is a deeply embedded character trait. As we learn about virtue ethics, we're going to learn about the golden mean. This is a strong concept in Buddhism as well. A golden mean is a balance between two behavioral extremes. We've all known people who were courageous, we've all known people who were cowardly, and we've all known people who were foolhardy or bullies. To have an excess of courage or foolhardiness is not the golden mean. To be a coward does not mean the golden mean, but to be a person with courage is the balance between two behavioral extremes. It's like starving on the one hand, gluttony on the other. A life of moderation is what we're seeking, right? Just to be full, to be satisfied, not to live in gluttony or not to be starving. So for Aristotle, the virtuous life means finding the golden mean. Do you agree with that concept? I mean, is it better to be rich or is it better to be filthy rich? It's really an interesting concept. So we're going to be comparing that to Buddhist ethics, which are focused primarily on the Buddha, who gave up his princely life to find a way to end suffering. So in Buddhist ethics, we're going to find out that the goal is to be on the spiritual path. Just to give you a brief introduction to Buddhism, the Buddha lived between around 536 and 476 BC. So it was the same time as Socrates, except for Siddhartha Gautama, known as the Buddha, was living in India, whereas Socrates lived in ancient Greece. So Socrates was living in ancient Greece around 500 BC. The Buddha was living in India, 500 BC. The Buddha grew up in luxury. As a prince, his father tried to keep him from experiencing suffering. However, the Buddha did encounter the suffering of others, and he decided, as several people have, to give up all of their wealth and riches, to go on a spiritual journey and to find a way to overcome suffering. Some of the ideas that are very important in Buddhism. One is spiritual enlightenment. Another is going to be karma, because the ultimate goal of Buddhism is to create a positive karma that can lead to achieving what is known as nirvana. The modern day representative of Buddhism is the Dalai Lama, and he has spoken out in favor of the recognition of universal human rights, because there's a belief that everyone wishes for the same things and that everyone deserves a respect, and that there should be respect for humanity, and that there is no one who does not desire peace, according to the Dalai Lama. So one thing we're going to be talking about is how the Buddha ultimately found the path. And the way that he found the path to enlightenment was he went on a fast. While he was fasting, a woman approached him and offered him a bowl of rice. And that's when he realized that fasting was not the way to find in spiritual enlightenment, but actually it was the middle way, which again is a balance between two extremes. Let's talk about your Module 3 assignments. So we have the discussion forum. You're required to make your first post by Tuesday and your reply post by Saturday, in which you present a reflection of your life that highlights your view of flourishing. We're also going to have a live session on Thursday at 7 p.m. in which we will discuss virtue ethics, friendship, and Buddhism. And your written assignment this week is to create a one-page help wanted ad for an entry-level marketing position. The APA format is not really required because you're going to be creating this, this written help wanted ad. The key to this help wanted ad is to be sure to include 5 virtues that the ideal candidate should have. We'll be talking more about this assignment in your Module 3 live session Thursday at 7 p.m. If you have any questions or concerns this week, please feel free to reach out. Send me a phone call, a text message, or an email. Let's have a great week.